we do seem to fall into that category. So our program has worked, and I am excited about it. And I do think that there is a need for more hubs. I don't know what the structure would need to be like or what, but I see that there are a lot of small growers, the 2-box, the 3-box growers, half-acre, the 1-acre growers, that do need a place to consolidate their product and market it collectively, and not have to travel 100 miles or 50 miles or whatever. In our case, because we are on the farm, it's very effective for them to come to us, and then we help with the consolidation and the processing of the post-harvest and handling of all these products and marketing it with them. So, and that's it. Thank you.
So we do have a little bit of time for question and answer, and I would like to prioritize the audience, otherwise I'll have some questions from time to time. Serrano?
How is the business and financial relationship between the hub and Alba? And also, was it founded as a grant, sort of generated, and then it's an independent business? Because I think that's not always clear in the hubs, whether it's a grant or business or enterprise.
I think the person who can better speak to that is standing right behind you. Brett Malone, our executive director. I don't know, Brett, you want to?
Yeah. So the business financial relationship is that Alba Organics was essentially started as a project of Alba in 2002. So this is our 10th year operating, and it continues to be a project of Alba at the moment. But we're looking at other structures for a variety of reasons. We've invested some in some legal review and getting some expert advice. And there's a lot of different opinions about what the optimal relationship should be. People would say you need to start, and other people would say you'd be crazy to do that. And it looks like they both are right. Prioritize. And really our mission is to make sure, in addition to the education and helping farmers get started, is to make sure that the story of food, is conveyed to the consumer. And so keeping Alba and Alba Organics very much tightly linked, is going to be what we end up doing. I what the formula is, we don't know yet. And it was, because it was started as a project, it was funded by grants for many years. But for the last, I guess we're going 2 years, we've broken even more or less. I mean, we're right now looking at an expansion plan that will ensure that Alba Organics is covering all the costs that it incurs, because Alba provides a lot of administrative support and also provides the location. The facility that we have was originally purchased with federal funds in the early 70s and then was refurbished with federal funds in the early 2000s and have received significant grant support to get it started, but it is basically covering its own expenses, and then at this point it's hopefully going to be able to start contributing financially to supporting Alba's education programs. It's a social enterprise in many ways, but primarily because it's education, it's providing education and technical assistance as part of its doing business. And that's been really exciting to see that can continue to happen and cover its operating costs. And we farmers actually make a living.
Right, and part of that is because we too are mission driven and not bottom line. And that's the funnest part of all this, is that you get to help the growers without needing to take a whole bunch of money out of their proceeds. So we don't charge for cooling, we don't charge for deliveries, or a whole lot of things. We just take a percentage off the top to be able to cover our expenses. And so we're fine-tuning that, but it is real fun to see the growers' reaction when they get their return.
Karen and Joe. Go ahead. So Karen.
Oh, I just you were talking about the delivering directly to consumers. So I'm presuming that I know some of the farmers through Alba used to have CSAs. Has Alba Organics taken over the CSA portion for the farmers, so they don't have to do that anymore? What's the relationship?
It's actually the other way around. Alba Organics started the CSA, and it wasn't viable for us to do it. So, and we didn't have the time or the staff and all that. So it's been passed on to our growers, and they're actually doing it themselves.
Okay, so when you're saying you're selling direct to the consumers, then how does that happen?
Well, it's going through retailers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, I thought you were delivering direct.
In some cases, yes. We do have some customers that we sell to directly, but it's very minuscule.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is your pricing to the farmer after sale? Or
No.
So then, how do you determine what a fair return to your farmer is?
That comes through information gathered from our customers. You know, we are subjected to market changes. Whatever the market is going for on a certain product, we calculate. You know, we get the market price, what we can sell it for, and then we take a chance with it, and we mark it down and pay the grower that amount. So basically, when the product comes in, we get an invoice. We own it, we take custody of it, and it's turn around and sell it, a lot of times at a loss. So that's where the...
But you get an invoice
We
from
get an
the grower. How does the grower, is the grower basing his price on a market knowledge, or is it based on a cost of production that you taught him?
Well, both. We had an intern from CSUMB come in and do a study on cost of production for most crops that we grow, set up an Excel sheet, a formula where we can plug in numbers, you know, production averages, and then throw in all their costs fixed and basically anything that it would take to grow this product, and it spits us out a profit and loss. So then, you know, production cost, and we gauge what we need to do. So that's my job, to protect their production cost and get them back a profit. And they know this, most do. So beyond that, it's fair game. We can try and make them as much money as possible. And they do know what the market is doing. A lot of them sell directly to restaurants themselves and do farmers markets. That's kind of a challenge for me, because farmers markets are sometimes the disparity is too big between. Most of our business is wholesale, so you know, between farmers markets and wholesale, the gap is very huge. But that comes through education. We tell them, you know, unless you can sell your 300 boxes of strawberries at a farmer's market this Friday, you know, we have to go through wholesale or somewhere else. And so we offset that and figure out where the medium is at.
Sure.
So a lot of what I'm hearing all morning is relationship and community. So this is actually a question for both you and maybe Luis. Is a lot of your material in Spanish as well as in English? And for Luis, do you think we should also consider Spanish as well as English for a lot of what we're going to do with retail food?
The answer is yes. Our ag course is taught in both languages. And I believe last year we even had a third language in there somewhere. So, I'm sorry?
Was it Vietnamese or what?
No, it was Triqui, was indigenous to part of Oaxaca, was it? And so, yes, we do have all materials in both languages, and we do have simultaneous translation most of our events.
So to answer your question, I consider one of the primary beneficiaries, participants, both of those words, to be immigrant growers that are entering agriculture fairly newly and have organized their farms principally for production and not so much for direct marketing. And so they're probably on the smaller scale, but still probably right now selling through packing houses, yeah, that's what we call them, yeah. And that generally receive product on an open price, and is a system that doesn't work out for a lot of growers for most of the season. And so as far as, maybe your question is more specifically if a session like this needs to be conducted in Spanish rather than
just material moving forward, communications, just recognizing that is a growing population that's interested in this topic.
Yeah, so it's a priority in how we actually are able to implement that. We don't have a plan for that, but know that that's one of the priority communities.
Louis,